Okay, so after being a Trucion, and it's not necessarily the chronological order, but like lifetimes you've had. Also seeing Golden Crown race. I'm gonna just again share a little blog I wrote about them. Uh, you can see some of their looks, some of the personalities. You can check it out on my website if you want more details. But basically, you've had this axis of more like a consciousness that in the body I wrote about, like a humanoid looking being, 5 to 8 feet tall, 2 legs, 2 arms, eyes white pure, uh, kind of like Egyptian looking chin, skin is kind of hard, plastic, silicon like, yada yada yada. Doesn't matter about the look. Well, for me, I don't care. But anyway, as beings, it's like you have this access to information. I've talked about Angiobarsis, I've talked about Akashic records. It's like, as a consciousness, you have this access to libraries of info about people, about beings, about locations, about places. You just have this knowingness, and Golden Crown Race usually tries to give that information to someone who's craving for answers, for understanding. So a lot of times throughout, like, let's say if we would look at Earth, people are walking down and they have like, okay, I want to find my goal, I want something to do, I want inspiration to get something done. And all of a sudden this knowingness comes, this information that is life-changing, something that they might have been craving for to change, to get better, to learn. Golden Crown Race will give that information as guidance. And some people like, hey, I got an inspiration or I got an idea. But no, a lot of times we are being accessed by the Golden Crown and they're sharing that stuff to help us out. It's like even if you would think of Nikola Tesla, who would astral project and go into other places and talk with beings and get info to create the tech, like he was given the information. A lot of times, like there are beings who can share stuff where we get insights and we can change. So Golden Race does exactly that. With you, on a similar note of what happened previously, you have been used by the other group. And again, it's that kind of thing like, oh, we're gonna help you connect with a realm where you can help people, teach them, help them to like that there's that evolution or the change of mind where they can get better or grow faster. And you're like, sure thing, I'll help them out. I'll change their mindset. I'll give them a stuff so that they could work on themselves. But instead, they used you as a radio to give the information but the info given, it's like they were able to, and I don't know how to say it properly, it's like hypnotizing you to where you yourself cannot decipher the info given to you that's going through you to the other population. And now those beings are getting false information where they start buying into fake realities or belief systems that are limiting and actually causing the whole planet. It's like straightly accessed and everyone has this God talking to them and they have this understanding coming up to them, but it's being used in a manipulative way to destroy, to alter, to use massive or like collective consciousness, so to speak, to alter events in a negative way, where hundreds of thousands of people tune into one reality and all of them try to change certain events for the negative. They're like, oh, well, reptilians are considered good and they're saving the world and they're doing this. And now we have hundreds of thousands of people consciousness shifting, doing stuff, but they've been brainwashed and actually use it on us like as just, I don't know, you were playing chess and those first soldiers on the line.
Pawns.
Yeah, pawns. So yeah, like just use as pawns. So like again, there's a part where through you, someone else is able to manipulate, and now you yourself is like, I have been used, my voice to share info, to give, is now used for the negative. I should not talk anymore. And whenever you want to share, whenever you want to give, there's this closing out because what if I'm going to be used? What if they're going to access me again? What if? And you close down that ability to even express yourself. Whatever you want to say now, you're keeping it inside and it's killing you because you want to fight, you want to help, and there's that fear of being taken over again. So there's correlations with what you wrote about your life and like the protests and standing up for injustice. And at the same time, other groups have used you in past where now it's creating the fear. And what happened in this life, it triggers the past event that now amplifies your feeling states. And there's this bleed-through effect that's making like your decisions to keep it down, keep it to yourself, not speak out. kind of like now it's like more than ever, like on steroids, so to speak. So there's that.
Wow, well, thank you. So this lifetime activities, if you had chosen to take a vacation and not follow your passion or what you're about, you may not have triggered this stuff. But just the activities of doing what you do, the protest, for example, wanting to help, and you're eager to learn, this stuff can trigger this past life trauma. So we all have past life traumas like this. Maybe not exactly like this, but they don't always get triggered. It's what gets triggered is what makes it challenging in this world. And the fix is to destimulate the trigger. Whatever triggered it, get it to release one way or another. And that can be a challenge, but that's also how we consider spiritual growth and development. The various techniques and methods we use, whether it's refocusing attention or meditating or breath work or anything else. So that's what Vila is picking up, is not just past life stuff, but your parallel activities, so to speak, what you're doing in other realms and what you have done and the nature of your being.
And we could like focus on an incident, inability to talk or fighting for the injustice, standing up for people, like to protect them, those that will not do it for themselves. And we could look at similar events where there is a realm and you have played various different roles. It's like there's a king and you're his advisor, and someone else is trying to deceive and kill him and trying to tell the king the truth, but he doesn't believe you because he has someone else telling him stuff, and there's that person has an influence, and then the king gets killed, and people are like, well, the advisor should have known, so you get blamed for the death, even though you've been sharing the truth. So even while you did your thing, you were found guilty. There are a lot of variations where we have a realm, there's something going on, and you have various roles. Just a normal person or the queen of the country or something. Like we have, again, like lots of different variations and the incidents where we could track back. But I'm just saying a lot has been built up. Besides all that, well, there's a lot of traumatic stuff. I think we should look at some positives as well. You have other aspects where you've had the role as an Irma, where you've been with the Aldebaran race, where you've been like, again, Aldebaran are like more like plant-like, elf-like humanoid beings. So imagine humanoid elf, but it's plant-like, tree-like, like Groot, and it has more of like healing abilities, super in touch with nature. So it's like you can get your roots into the nature and communicate with every single being on the planet. And it's like you connect with the trees and you can send messages to the people. You can like how should I say, like it's like every tree on Earth has a connection, and there's this like almost like a nervous system network where you can tune in, send info, and feel everyone, feel every single being on the planet, feel how they're feeling, feel what they're experiencing, what they're thinking, and through that you can connect to them, send them info, give them energy, heal them, or have this understanding about people and what's currently being needed, so you could provide. It's more of your key focuses. You've been with the Dohan race. I've talked about it in the past in some videos, but it's more like, think of like an energy ball, a wisp. It's just the energy, but these beings gather in clusters and they have a specific emotion. So throughout, like depending on the emotion and the feeling state and the intention, their colors change. Whenever they gather in one cluster, it gets bigger. And it's like they used to send that energy, feeling state, thought to someone to heal, to help them. So if someone's feeling depressed, but you know that if that person had a different feeling state or a thought, they would get this nexus point in their life and they would change and they would start creating, providing, doing, like acting as what their purpose is. So you as a Dohan would provide that. You would gather in group, locate beings more like we call lions, those that are awake, those that are able to fight, those that are aware of the info that's needed, and you would focus on those beings and look at what their needs are so that you could help them, support them, and become like an amplifier to a guitar or an instrument. You can play a simple guitar and here's that, but when you have an amplifier, you can put it really loud and support, like give it all kinds of, vibes and alters and like just a different sound. So you are that. You're an amplifier. You look at what being needs and you provide that info. So there's a lot to that. And I would say like these are your core strengths. You are like in the astral, diplomatic. You're very active. You're fighting for the rise, like as with Irma's. And I'm seeing like there's a lot of connections with Pleiadians and Taygetans and Lyrans, and you're playing with the Galactic Federation, again, being politically active, standing out for, like, again, the things you're doing here on Earth, you're doing out there, a bit more successfully. You're not being as attacked as here, but there's a lot. So there's that. Rich can fill out more details if you have more insights, and I can just keep on going. But yeah.
No, you can just keep on going. Yeah, you're doing great. Yes, plenty of detail there. Yeah.
So besides that, I mentioned some of the stuff about 20 and back and stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot. We could go into a lot of things that are negative, a lot of different stories, but with the stuff we've just like provided you, let's say some of the looks into your past lives or other aspects that are currently active and playing and things that have been happening to you, what can you do with this info?